What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Ford Mustang GT with the GT Performance Package. Huge thank you to Matt Newman over at Koons Sterling Ford here in Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Mustang or any Ford product, I'll be sure to have Matt's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, the fall season is definitely upon us, meaning the sun is going down rather quickly, so I got to get this part of the video filmed relatively quickly. I'm still going to cover everything I need to cover. So, like usual, first we're going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Ford Mustang GT with the GT Performance Package, and this particular one has been painted in dark matter gray metallic. A couple things that I wanted to preface this video with that pertain to the 2024 Mustang as a whole is that basically for 2024, the Mustang was redesigned inside and out, but it does retain a familiar feel to the S550. And then it also gives you a nice bump in power as well with the Coyote in particular. So you can see this looks relatively similar to the S550, just a little bit more angular, a little bit more updated, and I think Ford did a great job redesigning the Mustang. But as standard with the GT, you get LED projector headlights with automatic high beams, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED sequential turn signals, both front and rear. I did want to point out something though with your headlight bezel is that you get a mix of black and silver for your headlight bezel. So you can see with your three projectors, you get those silver pieces there. If you wanted all of that stuff blacked out, you might want to look into getting the Night Pony package. But moving on from there, at the center of your front end on the hood, you can see you get a gloss black functional hood vent. And then this vehicle has also been optioned with the $475 over-the-top racing stripe, which you can see just two satin black pieces of vinyl with that red accenting. I think that looks very nice here, matched to the GT Performance Package. Now let's take in the entire front end of the S650 GT. That is what she looks like up here at the front end. I'm going to take a couple steps closer so we can talk about this front grille. So this vehicle again has been optioned with the $4,995 GT Performance Package, and with that package you get a gloss black mesh grille with your Pony logo located at the center. I wanted to talk about this here real quick because I did a video with actually I did two videos with two Ford Mustang GT Premiums, and they both did not have the GT Performance Package, but they both did have a gloss black mesh grille. So I thought that was kind of interesting that with the GT Performance Package, they pointed that gloss black grille out, when with the GT Premium I did a video with, which may be different from the GT, it had that gloss black front grille. But anyways, my rant is over with that. You also get two gloss black grille nostrils here and there. That is what I'm referring to when I talk about those grille nostrils. And then one thing that's very interesting with the S650 Mustangs is that you get grille lights both there and over there as well. I'll show you what they look like when they are on screen right now. And apparently from the little bit of research I did online, basically they're for pedestrians to see the vehicle when you're driving it in the daytime, at night, just so the vehicle is a little bit more visible up here at the front end. I thought that was kind of interesting because I've never seen that on any other sports car, any other coupe. So it's kind of interesting that I guess it may have been mandated for the new Mustangs. Very interesting. Again, never seen that on any other coupes or any other sports cars, so it's just, again, kind of interesting to see. But then you also get a gloss black grille surround, which is what this piece is here, and then it goes all the way around. Moving on from there, you get satin black lower and outer grills. So this piece, satin black, that also satin black, and then that is also satin black as well. One thing that's kind of interesting is that you can see this outer grille is non-functional because you have that satin black backing plate, but on the driver's side, this satin black outer grille is functional, and you can see you get like a heat exchanger slash radiator back in there. There's a closer view. Just kind of interesting. Again, functional on the driver's side, non-functional on the passenger side. Moving on from there, this vehicle again has been optioned with the Performance Package, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to say Performance Package probably maybe 25 times throughout this video. And with that package, you get a front tow hook. So this is, you pop this trim piece off right here, and then you could stick the tow hook in there if you slid off the track or something like that. If you're really pushing this thing to the extreme, which is again why maybe you got the Performance Package. And then all the way at the bottom of your front end, you get this satin black front lip. Here's a closer view of what that looks like, and then I'll give you a view of that front lip from here and this perspective as well. Now here's a front 3/4 angle of this thing. Moving on down the side, you get a side marker light here. And then with the GT Performance package, excuse me, you get heavy duty front springs as well as a K-brace, which is underneath the vehicle about right here. And basically what that does is it stiffens the chassis, makes it handle a little bit better and stuff like that. And then also, with the GT Performance package, you get these 19-inch carbonized gray painted wheels, and they are wrapped in 255/40 in the front and 275/40 Pirelli P0 tires in the rear. So it is a staggered vehicle. Bigger tires in the back, smaller tires up front. And then last but not least, with the GT Performance package, you get 6-piston front Brembo brakes. They are 19 inches. And then you get 4-piston Brembo brakes there in the rear, whereas just on like the GT Premium, for example, you get Brembo front brakes, but you do not get Brembo rear brakes with, again, the GT Premium without the Performance package. That is a look at your wheels. That's a look at your Brembos. Again, you can see the Brembo with the pony and all that kind of stuff. You get the white script. And that's kind of about it for that. Coming up just a little bit, on both of your fenders, you get the 5.0 badging. As standard with this vehicle, you get rain sensing wipers. And then you also get body color mirror caps, and as standard, these side view mirrors are power adjustable, manual folding, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror over there. Now, let's do a little side profile shot of the S650 GT here. That is what she looks like here from the side. You can see you get black window trim. You also get body color door handles with keyless access. And then at the bottoms of both of your passenger doors, you get these satin black side skirts. That is what they look like from here, basically from the front point of view. I'm gonna walk you down the side, give you a nice view of you. They definitely make the vehicle look more sporty here from the side. And I like how they kick out about right here at the door crease right there. Nice little kick out, make them a little bit wider here. Nice little piece of dimension there. They look very, very nice. But coming up top here, body color shark fin antenna. You have your LED third brake light up top there. You get a rear window defroster. Opening up your fuel door, you get a capless filler neck. 87 octane will do you just fine, so you can put regular in this. Coming around back, you can see, take a look at that Performance package wing. So with the GT Performance package, you get this sick raised rear wing. That is what she looks like here at the back. Definitely looks a lot more aggressive here with the Performance package as compared to the one that just is basically like a deck lid spoiler, just with the regular GT and the GT Premium. Anyways, moving on from there, you get LED sequential taillights as standard. You also get a backup camera right there. You get a body color rear deck lid with your GT logo at the center of that deck lid. You do also get a trunk, obviously, but you don't have a button, I don't believe, for your trunk back here. Actually, it is right here. So if you stick your hand underneath here, you feel that little pad, and then that will pop open your trunk. Decent amount of storage space in here. I have a 2010 Camaro SS, and my opening for my trunk is way smaller than the opening for the trunk on this. And then you also get, you can see your carpeting, carpeted floor mats underneath here. You get a tire inflator kit. You do not get a full-size spare tire or even a spare tire for that matter at all. Whereas on the video I did with the GT Premiums, both of them, they both came with a spare tire. But I would assume with the Performance package, they're saving a little bit of weight, and that is why they do not give you that spare tire. Anyways, closing that back up, now here's a booty shot of the new Mustang from the back. And then coming down just a little bit, you get a satin black rear valance back here, as you may be able to tell. You also get 4 integrated parking sensors back here. This is your reverse light right there. You also get 2 reflectors on each side. This particular vehicle has been optioned with the $1,225 active valved exhaust system, which is a must-have option, I may say, if you guys are speccing out your own Mustang. I drove one with the active valved exhaust back to back with one without the active valved exhaust, and this made a massive difference to the way that it sounded, and it made a massive difference, in my opinion, to the driving experience. This is a must-have option for me. And then, by the way, with the active valved exhaust optioned, it adds 6 horsepower and 3 pound-feet of torque. Last but not least, this is the last time I'm going to say Performance package, but with the Performance package, That gives you a torsion rear differential with a 355 axle ratio when you opt for the 10-speed automatic transmission. And then you also get an upsized rear sway bar. So that kind of about does it for the exterior of the GT with the GT Performance Package. I guess I said it one more time. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the 2024 Mustang GT in the comments down below. Do you prefer the look of the S550? Do you prefer the look of the S650? Or let me know this. Overall, price-wise, what you can get an S550 for and an S650 for right now, would you buy a used S550 or a new one if you could, or a brand new S650? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 that makes 486 horsepower and 418 pound-feet of torque when optioned with the active valved exhaust system. This particular vehicle has also been optioned with the $1,595 10-speed automatic transmission. And with the 10-speed automatic transmission, you can go from 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 15 miles per gallon in the city, 24 miles per gallon on the highway for 18 miles per gallon combined. Another thing I wanted to mention, again, with the performance package that this vehicle does have, you do get a black painted strut tower brace, which is what this thing is right here. And then also new to the Coyote for 2024, you now get a dual throttle body setup in which you can hear when you were driving this thing down the street, just giving it a little bit of gas, but not too much gas to where the exhaust is overtaking this sound, but you can really hear it go like sucking in all the air. It is a very, very cool experience to hear this thing with it sucking down that air. But then once you give it a little bit more gas, you can hear the exhaust. So what if you want to hear it's sucking in the air, just give it a tiny bit of gas. If you want to hear the exhaust, you know what you got to do. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. Thank you all so much for 20,000 subscribers. I just hit that this morning. Huge milestone. I really, really appreciate it. Now I am 1/5 of the way to 100,000 subscribers. So thank you to everybody who supported me from the beginning. I truly do appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by pressing on that button right there. And now the vehicle is locked. I did want to walk you through a couple of the functions on the key fob. Starting from the top, you have your unlock function, your lock function, your remote start function. This basically doesn't do anything. It pops open your trunk. And then all the way at the bottom, you have your panic function. So to remote start the vehicle, you press the lock button and then press this button twice. And now let's take a listen to this beautiful 5.0. Sounds amazing. Right now it is in a quieter mode than it would be in like sport or track. But anyways, again, this is the GT. This is not the GT Premium. So you do get this black onyx cloth interior. Honestly, it's more than good enough. You really don't need, you know, a crazy nice interior with the leather and all that kind of stuff to have fun. And that's exactly kind of what this interior is. So coming over to here, you can see you get some cloth, you get your door handle, you're unlocking your lock functions, you get a speaker up top there, you have your power side view mirror controls, automatic up and down windows, you get a nicely padded armrest. All of this area is leather wrapped. A little bit of storage space and another speaker down here. You get a manually adjustable front driver's seat. You also get a manually adjustable front passenger seat. And now let's step into the interior and let's see what is new to the Mustang for 2024. I am gonna have to turn this climate system off here for a second. Bear with me. All right, now with that climate system off, you may be able to tell what is new for 2024. So basically, you now get a 12.4-inch digital gauge cluster, as well as a 13.2-inch infotainment system, which I'll get into here in a second, but I want to walk you throughout these controls here. So basically, pressing on that button is going to pop open your trunk. This is your headlight control knob. So all the way up, headlights off, parking lights on. That is headlights in the automatic position. All the way down is headlights always on. Then these buttons are to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster, as well as your backlit buttons. Coming over to here, if I flick this down, that gives me access into my manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push it away from you, and then you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position, and then lock it into place once you found your comfortable position. Now, let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like on this vehicle. Now zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel. You also get steering wheel mounted paddle shifters when you opt for the 10-speed automatic transmission. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on the 2024 Mustang. Now, on the left-hand side of your steering wheel, you have your cruise control settings as well as your lane keep button right there. And then coming over to here, actually, I totally glossed over this like an idiot like I am. You also have your drive mode selector. So this is gonna switch you between your different drive modes. So starting from the top, I guess we can start at drag strip mode, right? You got drag strip mode, you got slippery mode, you got your custom mode, you have your normal mode, you have your sport mode. I like all the different animations depending on the drive mode. Then you have your track mode here. You got your drag strip mode, and I like how it is actually a GT performance pack. You can see the wing there. Very, very cool. It also has the same wheels that this vehicle has, so little things like that I appreciate. And then coming over to here, you have your volume controls. That is to speak to the vehicle, and then this is going to switch you between your different steering feels. So if I go into, let's say, custom mode, it's going to let me switch my steering feel. So in custom mode now, I can switch my steering feel. So I have steering normal, steering comfort, and steering sport. I'm gonna keep it on maybe steering normal for right now. But back into sport, when you go into sport mode, it's just going to basically put you into steering sport. So that is what that button does right there. Upshift on the right, downshift on the left. You got your windshield wiper control stock there. You do get rain sensing wipers again with this vehicle as standard. Now I'm gonna walk you throughout the gauge cluster. So this is what the gauge cluster looks like. You get your coolant temperature gauge over there. You get your fuel gauge over here. You get your fuel range. This is your speedometer. That's your digital speedometer readout. That's letting you know that you are in sport mode and that the active valve exhaust system is also in sport mode. Then you also have your odometer down there, transmission status stuff. Your trip 1 stuff, you can change that. Driving assistance stuff, ambient exterior temperature, you get your tachometer, and then down there you get your lane keeping stuff. And then that's letting you know that your steering feel is in sport. Now, to go throughout this screen, you can click down, and then you can see your fuel economy stuff. You can see your tire pressure stuff. You get your gauge detail, all those different temperatures and pressures. And then you get some more details there. Driver assistance stuff. And then, yeah, that's that for that. And then when you switch in between your different drive modes, the gauge cluster also changes as well. So we were just in, I guess we were in sport mode, but you can see in track mode, you're gonna get like the hockey stick. It's gonna go across like that. Give it a second. Now track exhaust is on. Okay, I guess this is not set up right now to switch the gauge dependent on, you know, which drive mode you're in, which you can do by clicking on this. So let's go into here, cluster theme, sport. So it's always in sport. Now I'm gonna match it to the drive mode, and now you will see what I'm talking about. So now that I am in track mode, you guys may be thinking I was crazy. But now in track mode, you get that hockey stick type of thing. It was always in sport mode at the last one. And then this is what normal mode looks like. Just give it a second. I want to show you a couple of these different things here. So that's normal mode. And then sport mode was what we were in the entire time. And then, yeah, that's kind of about it for this screen. Moving on from that screen over to here again, this is your 13.2-inch Sync 4 infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So up top here, you get your home button. It's gonna bring you into your home screen. This is what your home screen looks like. You get your settings over here. You can go into your vehicle settings. I always like to show the driving assistance stuff. So I have to go over to here. You can go to features, driving assistance, and then I'll show you all your different driving assistance features that this vehicle has. Get your lane keeping system, pre-collision alert, all of these different things here are what comes standard with the GT. Moving on from there, then you got your different apps. So you get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Go back into your settings. You go into your vehicle settings, all of these different settings, like your lighting settings, your wiper settings, so on and so forth. And then what else? Coming down, this is your climate control stack. So you do not get physical climate control functions, which is kind of sucky, but all manufacturers seem to be going into the screen. Personally, I like physical climate controls. Let me know your opinion. Do you guys like the physical climate controls, or do you like the climate controls throughout the screen? I don't know how anybody would like the climate controls throughout the screen, but whatever. Click on that button at the center, and now the climate control is throughout the entire screen. Click that button one more time and it will exit out of that. A couple buttons that I wanted to walk you through. You can see this pony button right here. So if you click on this pony button, it's going to bring you into My Mustang. So in My Mustang, you can turn the quiet exhaust on. So now you can't hear the exhaust. Listen, even when you rev it, very, very quiet. But if you're like me and you buy one of these with the active valved exhaust, you're always going to drive it in track mode unless you're pulling into your neighborhood at like 1 a.m. Now, that sounds so good. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I had to have an excuse to open her up just a little bit. But anyways, you can now go throughout your track apps. Again, this one has been optioned with the GT Performance Package, which gives you this electronic hand-operated parking brake. So this is basically your drift brake. So if you click into there, it's basically for track use only. But now you just pull up on this and it acts like a drift brake, apparently, from what I've been told. So I think that's pretty cool. It actually tells you what the drift brake does if you click. For track, basically it locks the rear wheels when you pull up on the parking brake handle. You can perform handbrake turns or initiate a drift by pulling up on the handle and turning the steering wheel at the same time. Very, very cool. And you have to have the GT Performance Package in order to get this drift brake here. And I'm going to turn that back off because I don't want to do any drifting right now. You also get line lock, acceleration timer, brake performance, a lap timer. You can see these auxiliary gauges up here. So that is a couple different auxiliary gauges you can pop up. You can go into your custom mode, set your custom mode up the way you want. You can also go into my color and you can change the color of, like, see how that's orange right now? Basically, that's your secondary color. So if I wanted to change that color, let's say to blue, right? I'm gonna change this over to blue. All of this stuff's gonna turn to blue. You see that? But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm going to put it back into what it was, but then this is also your primary color. So you see all of these things. Basically, I can switch that over to red, right? So now that's going to turn red, and then everything like that, my color, it's all red. Personally, I like the blue better, so I'm going to bring it back into the blue, and then you'll see all of that stuff goes black, back to blue. So very configurable, which is something that I personally really like. And then again, you can go into the cluster theme, and right now, before I got into this vehicle, it was on sport, which had the sport display on at all times. Personally, for me, I like the display matched to the drive mode. I feel like it makes the vehicle a little bit more special, so that is why I switched it into that. And really, that's kind of about it for that screen. Coming down, you get 2 HVAC vents, but you get 4 HVAC vents on the dash. You can see 4 passenger airbag on or off. This is your push button start button. This will bring you into the screen that I was just talking about. And then this is your traction control on or off. You get your hazard button. This is a favorites button. So this is actually a very cool button. So I guess right now it's configured to track mode, but you can see that favorites button. I can go over to here. I can go into features. I can edit my favorite. And that button right there can be one of these 3 things. So it can either be the exhaust mode, it can bring you into the calm screen, or it can turn auto hold on. Auto hold is basically the feature in which the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. But I guess when I click that, it puts your track mode on. So that's what it's set to right now. And then this is your max front defroster. This is your volume control knob. I do wish the volume control knob was a little bit closer to me, but really not that big of a deal. Down here, you get a 12-volt power outlet. You get a USB-A port and a USB-C port. You get a good amount of storage space down in here. This is your gear shifter with the 10-speed. Pull all the way back to put you into manual mode, and it lets you know that you are in manual mode when that M lights up in your color, your secondary color. So then you can upshift and or downshift the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters when you're in manual mode. Again, this is the drift brake / the electric hand operated parking brake. And then also a couple other things that you get with the GT Performance Package that I'm going to read to you in here is that you do get unique stability control as well as EPAs and ABS tuning. 2 cup holders, a nicely padded armrest. Opening this thing up, you also get another 12-volt power outlet down in there, and a little bit of miscellaneous storage space, but really not all that much. Then you also get a pen holder right there as well. Coming over to here, this is what this looks like. It says Mustang right there with the pony logo. Lockable lower glove box. Coming up top here, you get a frameless auto-dimming rear view mirror. Driver gets a light, passenger gets a light, both of which are LED. And then when you have this in the middle, when I open up the doors, now the lights will turn on. However, if I have it like this, now when I open up the door, the lights will not turn on when I open up the door. And then all the way to the left is basically dome lights always on. Get a spot you can set your sunglasses up top here as well. Coming over to here, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, as well as a spot you could set a paper product. And then opening this up, this slides forwards and backwards dependent on where the sun is shining. And this is a Mustang. I'm not going to get in those rear seats. Very uncomfortable, but I wouldn't want to sit back there for more than an hour probably, just because of the fastback design. I'm 5'9", but these passenger and driver seats are very, very comfortable. They've got a good amount of padding, but then they also have a good amount of bolstering as well. So these are the seats that you want to get if you're going to be daily driving this, but also driving it spiritedly. And then one thing I really like about these seats, the headrest moves forwards and backwards, and you have a good amount of adjustability with that. So very, very nice. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the interior. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. Actually, before I throw the entire window sticker on screen, I'm going to throw the package, the GT Performance package on screen. You can read everything that you get with that package. Pause that for a sec. And now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at the couple options that this vehicle has and everything that you get as standard, but basically I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Mustang GT with the performance package is spec'd is $51,980. This one is selling under MSRP, I believe, for like 48 or 49. But yeah, that kind of about does it. We've talked about the interior, now we've talked about the exterior, and we've talked about the performance. So now I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. Alrighty, and now on to the driving portion of the review, where I always start my videos here. We go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then I rate these vehicles on a scale of 1 to 10. Considering what it is, did very well over the first speed bump. This 10-speed kind of behaves like a dual clutch. It really does. And if you've driven one, let me know if you agree with what I'm saying. Going about 5. A 10-speed is crazy. It almost shifts as fast as a dual clutch as well. The only thing where you can really tell where it's not a dual clutch is kind of upon downshifts. It's not quite as seamless as a dual clutch is, but still does really well on downshifts, and it does a great job at revving it up like a manual. Now, here's a nice little acceleration. Speed is amazing. It really is. And with the GT Performance package, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, I drove a couple GT Premiums, 2 actually. One was a GT Premium High, and then the other one was not. And I can tell a massive difference in brake bite with this as compared to those. It's there when you want it. Like as soon as you click, it's like, or push the brake down, it's like boom, biting down on the brakes. I mean, it is very noticeable, the difference between this and without the GT Performance package, excuse me, when it comes to braking. It is a massive, massive difference. So I would assume, like on track, it feels like a massive, massive difference. Also, one thing, I love that. I love going boom, 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 boom. Another thing I wanted to say is that yes, with the GT Performance package, it's supposed to have a stiffer ride, but I personally, for me, I don't really notice it having a stiffer ride. Yes, I can tell that it is stiffer when you hit certain bumps and stuff, but when you're just cruising like I am right now, you can't really tell that big of a difference between this and, the GT Premium without, the GT Performance package. So when you're just on roads like this, it behaves pretty much the exact same as a Mustang GT without the Performance package. When you can tell is kind of when you hit some awkward bumps. But listen. Brakes are there, man. I'm telling you. As soon as I just put a little bit of brake force down, like I'm talking about a little bit, it really just brings you back down to sane speeds. And for me, brakes are a big thing when it comes to performance vehicles, and I'm not the only one who feels that way, but there are a few people, I don't really need brakes like that. But these brakes make a massive difference, from what I can tell here, just even daily driving. So I couldn't even imagine, you know, how they feel on track as compared to just the standard brakes of the GT. Because if I'm noticing this big of a difference, you know, just driving around, you know, like daily driving, then I bet you there's a massive difference on track and stuff like that. And if you want to get something that you're gonna have fun, like on the back road, you're gonna have fun, you can take it to the track if you wanted to, but you also can daily drive it. That's where the GT performance package comes in. And then also, you know, if you don't want to spend dark horse money, but you want, you know, you maybe not going to get dark horse level performance, quite dark horse level performance, but you get pretty darn close to dark horse level performance with the GT performance package. I mean, it really sticks to the ground more. You get the thicker tires in the back. I also believe you get thicker tires in the front, because I do believe on the GT and the GT Premium, they're 245s all around, I think, whereas 255s, 275s now. I love just feeling the power build. Like, even just like at that, like, you can really just feel this thing start building power the higher you get up into the RPMs. And that is something that I love about naturally aspirated motors and engines. And you just feel that linear build of power, and it's almost really an intoxicating feeling. And this is no different. You know, we'll do a nice little acceleration again, just so I can feel that again, just because it was so good. Wow. And that wasn't even anywhere near getting on it. I would say that was probably 40% throttle. If I had to guess, that was about 40, maybe 45. And just the way that this thing builds power, it's so gratifying. It really feels like really, that's a big dog right there. That's a big black lab. But yeah, I love the way that this thing builds power. It feels so linear. It kind of reminds me of like a Lamborghini Aventador. Obviously not quite at that power level, but it's got a very similar feeling way that it builds power, which I love. So one thing about the Coyotes is that they make power up top, and I wish I could open this thing up all the way, but I'm not going to. Here's another little one. Wow. And that was only at about, what, 5, maybe 5,500 RPM, and it just sounds amazing. It really sounds amazing. It handles really well. Like, you do the body roll test, and it's just boom, boom, boom. And that, even just like what I just did right there, there's a big difference in the way that this thing turns in as compared to the GT Premium I did a video with a couple weeks ago. This is just like boom, boom. Just lightning quick, and it does exactly what you want it to, just right there. And that's definitely different than the GT Premium I did a video with a couple weeks ago. It feels very different when it comes to the handling and just the darting around turns and stuff like that. And I'm going to test that here around this turn. Obviously nothing crazy, but let's see. The 10-speed is amazing, and I am a manual lover, but man, the 10-speed is amazing. It's just boom, 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 shifting you between gears. It's just a great driving experience with the 10-speed automatic, and the paddle shifter response is right there when you want it to be. I'm telling you, that's why I'm having such a blast, is the paddle shifter response is there. It's the kind of paddle shifter response that I want. So overall, this is a great vehicle. Even the GT and the GT Premium, they're a great vehicle out of the box, but this just makes it that much better. And I can't imagine what the Dark Horse is like, because this is really good. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything from this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below. The likes and comments look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and basically helps me grow my channel. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys would just take a second to do those two things and hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.